Ooh, this is good. Welcome to Fen Tour. Today I'm out on something a little different. This is a brand new Royal Enfield Classic 500, and kindly being lent to me for the day by Balderston Motorcycles in Peterborough. Thanks to the guys there, thanks to Lisa for arranging it. A different type of ride, they tell me. Actually, this is nice so far. Smooth. It's got a nice thump to it. Gearbox works really quite well. I was expecting something a bit clunkier. Oh, this is great. Sunny, beautiful day out on the classic Royal Enfield 500. What a super machine to ride. I'm going 40 and it feels absolutely wonderful. Going 40. Oh, getting up to the heady heights of 50 now. I think I'm in top gear, which is five gears on this bike. So Royal Enfield Classic. Royal Enfield is a British company. Many years ago they transferred the production of their machines, such as this one, out to India, where they've been absolutely booming with hardly any design change. So it's got this single cylinder 500, and this being a classic, it looks retro. It really does. And these things don't cost a vast amount of money. Well, actually, is it going to give as much enjoyment in a different way as a far more expensive bike? What a wonderful day for riding a motorbike. It's going to be about 20 degrees to go, sunshine, perfect. So is this B road, which is a fast B road, and one I absolutely love to ride my bikes along, or cars, and get a reasonable pace. The pace for the Royal Enfield 500, I'm currently doing about 55 miles an hour. And I don't think it feels like it's going to give me that much pleasure. Well, speeds above, well, you're not meant to go above 60, are you? Now I'm back at 50. Well, that feels quite comfortable actually. An indicated 50 miles an hour. Then we've got a piece of road ahead. I don't know if the GoPro shows it so well, but you just want to open that right, your wrist, open the throttle, get into that bend. But then again, this isn't a bike about racing at high speeds. This bike's not really for going quickly, certainly not above the speed limit, and ideally quite a bit below. Here we are, nice village to go slowly through. Now this is where it, oh no, that's nice. 30 miles an hour. It's a very comfortable place to be, sitting nicely upright. Seat feels quite comfortable. You can just enjoy the views without being in too much of a hurry. So I'm thinking to myself now that maybe this B road is not, considering it's a fast B road, is not where I should be riding the Royal Enfield Classic 500 today. Let's try and find some quieter roads. So I'm going to pull over shortly and look at the map. Thank you. I've decided for this lovely yellow road, C-Class road. Now, this is more like it. A little bit of a bumpy road. The ride on this bike is pretty good, actually. Seems to soak up the bumps. Probably due to them required to do so on the potholed roads of Calcutta, or wherever these are most popular in India. But now I think the bike's in its element. Oh, I really do. I'm doing about 37 miles an hour. Nice clear speedo. And yeah, this is what it's all about. It's actually really comfortable, really enjoyable riding this. Of course, if it was on one of my other bikes, maybe not the Hammer, but certainly the GS or the GSX 1400. Always that temptation to wind it open, and you can. But with this, there's no need for that. It's a different thing altogether. And take in the countryside. So that's the answer for this. I'm guessing this bike's perfect for two things. One is towns and cities, because it's pretty manoeuvrable. I've done a couple of turns so far, U-turns, and very, very easy to manoeuvre. Certainly got enough poke at the lower speeds. So the towns makes a lot of sense, this bike. But for me, this is really the element. Being out on a very quiet road where you don't need to be racing anybody, you don't need to be worrying about holding up traffic because no one else out here, just me. And maybe the type of bike, it looks classic, it looks old, even though it's new. People will forgive you for going steadily. Like driving an old Morris Minor car or any classic vehicle. Do they rush along? No. I think this has to be treated in the same way. No hurry. Just chill. Go steadily. Just thinking, I wonder if I may hold up a tractor later. I think it goes a little bit faster than that. This is great. I'm in top gear, just pottering along. There's a nice thump through the handlebars and foot pegs, but not a vibration that is horrible at this speed. Went up to 60 miles an hour, that vibration was a little bit sort of, I think it would make you quite uncomfortable after a while. So it's definitely not a bike I'd recommend for cruising at high speeds. Definitely not motorways. Not that it can't do 70 miles an hour. I'm sure it can. It certainly gets to 60 with no problem. Even the road signs are in keeping around here. I think it's good to get the gears up quite early on this bike. It seems to pull quite nicely without any hassle, with it just thumping along. So yeah, that makes it quite relaxing. Not up and down the gearbox a lot. And again, I'm not trying to make high-speed progress, so I'm going to plan to pull over and go through the bike and how it looks in a moment. The location I'm aiming to do that is an old RAF World War II airfield, so that'll be interesting as well. So I'm just approaching this old RAF base from World War II. I believe there's a memorial here, so we'll park up, have a read of that, and let's look over the bike, see what you get for your very reasonable pot of cash. Oh, here we are, memorial to the 8th Air Force. So it was a USAF Second World War base. I'll get the bike parked and then go through some of the features. Let's look at the war memorial first. That looks definitely a worthy thing to be doing. So this was USAF Station Polebrook, and the monument, it says here, and plaque stand on a section of the original main runway which extended 260 degrees west from this point. So that's that way. That's the main memorial. A beautiful engraving on there of a flying fortress, I think. 1943, 1945. So it's about time I showed you around the bike itself. Here we are, Royal Enfield Classic 500. This bike is absolutely brand new. It's not even finished being registered yet, so we're running on trade plates. Very kindly, Balderson Motorcycles organised that for me. But look at that! It's absolutely stunning machine. Really very attractive. So some of the key features that, not that many features to talk about really. It has anti-lock brakes, which you'd be pleased to know. All bikes have to these days. This rather nice, shiny aluminium air-cooled single-cylinder 500cc engine, giving it a lovely thump. I wonder what it'd be like with a straight-through pipe. That'd be interesting. Disturb the peace a bit, maybe. These really nice classic mudguards. Quite nice decals. Generally, the finish looks very good. Rear disc brake. This one's got what looks like a comfortable pillion seat. Decent pillion pegs. There's no rev counter, but you don't need it with this bike. Just when it vibrates too much, change up. I think that's the answer. I guess the other difference between this and the original Royal Enfields, original British built ones back from the 50s and 60s, whenever they moved to India, is the gear changes on the left, not on the right, which it would have been on British bikes. So they changed that aspect of it. This bike also has fuel injection, I guess, to meet emissions. It has no choice. Oh look, I've just noticed something. Look at that. Extra springy saddle. So as well as the suspension, it's got springs in the saddle. No wonder I was getting quite a comfortable ride over the bumps. Genius. But I think it does look really quite attractive, doesn't it? And for the price of just under £5,000, you're getting something you can park at a pub and people will talk about it. Not many things can do that. I'll put some links, if I can find them on the internet, to this RAF station below. So if you're interested, have a look at the bottom. It's now to go back onto the quiet roads and head out. Cool, this is great over the bumps with its double springs. Yeah, it's time to find a coffee, I think. So I'm going to head to the rather attractive town of Oundle and see what's available there. So if you want to test drive one of these, I really recommend it. If you fancy pottering along, really enjoying being on the motorbike without spending a fortune, and you're not bothered about going fast. In fact, on a bike where you don't need to prove any point to anybody, this is probably your choice. Good choice. So do contact, if you're in the East Anglia or the Midlands, contact the guys at Balderston's. They've got this rather nice demonstrator. One good thing about Balderston's is it's only a few miles from these lovely quiet roads. So if you do go there, I recommend head west, get over the A1, have a look at the Ordnance Survey map before you take this bike out, and get on some of those nice yellow roads, because this is where it's at home. Now, how are the brakes on this bike? You'll be thinking, well, there's a single disc at the front, as you would have seen, and they do have quite good feel. Rear disc, yeah, more than adequate. This is the village of Polebrook. Very attractive it is too. It's a perfect home for this bike. Quiet country roads, pretty British villages on a British bike made in India. Another nice thing, it seems to be quite happy to go along in top gear. I'm doing under 30. It will pull quite smoothly, no hiccups from below 30 miles an hour, so that's good. Even more relaxing, just leave it in top gear. Really is a machine to see more, because you're going slowly, or steadily I should say. Let's see what it can do to accelerate. $60. Well, it took a little while, but still absolutely fine. If you just want to enjoy riding a motorbike, you're not too bothered about pairing along or racing anybody, and you've got roads like this, quiet yellow roads on the Ordnance Survey map, then you're going to be very happy with one of these on a summer's day, or spring day as it is at the moment, although it feels like summer. It's about 20 degrees, perfect. The vibrations at 60 start to become a little bit uncomfortable, but below 50 it's just a gentle thump and not uncomfortable at all. Rather exquisite town, small town of Elmdall. Time to search for a decent coffee, I think. I'm not sure about the horsepower of this bike. I believe it's around 27.5 or something. I'll check and then put it on the screen so to let you know. Cafe hat, it says there. Let's go over here. Coffee Tavern. My goodness me. This is Coffee Central, isn't it? Let's put the bike up here somewhere. That will do nicely, I think. Okay, I just had a very nice coffee. Coffee Tavern. I think there are quite a few choices here. So maybe I'll revisit another day and try one of the other coffee options. Another coffee option there, look at that, beans. So our plan is now to head back to Boulderstones, give them their Royal Enfield back. I'm going to try and do it by taking some nice yellow roads, more of them. So this road should take me out to Fotheringay, and then from Fotheringay I'm going to head to Warmington, Folksworth, and then back to the edge of Peterborough and Boulderstones. So I think one of the resounding conclusions with this engine is not really a lot of point in changing down the gears, because it pulls absolutely superbly from tick, well, not much above tick over. Okay, you get more acceleration if you kick it down, but you get enough acceleration without having to worry. This is the village of Fotheringay, and Fotheringay once had a castle called Fotheringay Castle, haha, and it was one of the places that Mary Queen of Scots was kept captive, and I believe where she ended her life. I shall double check that when I'm back. Put a note on your screen. Falcon Inn looks nice. So Fotheringay Castle itself is to my left behind that farmhouse. I think there's still a mound. Just about to cross the River Nene. So the castle was on the bank of the Nene. So yeah, over there. Yeah, there's still a mound where the castle was. No castle left though. You can visit it. It's probably quite a nice spot for a sunny picnic on a day like today. Who should consider the Royal Enfield Classic 500? If you've got lots of points on your licence, I haven't got any. Anyway, if you've got points on your licence because you've had a sports bike and it's too easy to go well above the speed limit, then this could be your answer. If you want to get over 100 miles to the gallon, because that's what Balderston's have been managing on this bike, economy, yep. A commuter that looks really cool. This is good. This is a good commuter. Looks good, and be brilliant for that. You live somewhere where you've got easy access to nice country roads, quiet roads, and you want a Sunday rider. And you can ride out to the pub or to a cafe, nice and steady, enjoying the wind in your hair, well, wind in your crash helmet. Now I'm wearing today my flip front helmet. I can't ride it with it open, it's not allowed. I have an open face helmet, and I also have a flip front you can ride open, but I don't have any of the cameras attached to them. But I would, if this is to be in my garage and I was to be riding it, I'd think go for a open face helmet. You're not really going to be that fast, and gives you more of that open feeling. I think another reason to buy such a bike is actually for the money. Looks really nice. You've got lots of cleaning, you can polish to your heart's content. Now it looks pretty well made, it looks robust, the paintwork, etc. How good that actually is will be seen after a few winters, I guess, or even in the garage, and it only comes out in the summer, with the alloy start to fur up. So it's probably a bike that you would need to put some care into looking after the paintwork, finish, metal bits. But if you did that, I think it would stay looking pretty good. I've really enjoyed riding this Royal Enfield today. Far more than one would expect. Guy was given the Royal Enfield an admiring glance there from his gardening. Now here's probably the exact person who should be coming over for a test ride if he's got a bike license. Seems to be the sweet spot. 50 miles an hour. No wonder it does 100 plus miles to the gallon. What a low cost way to get into biking and to enjoy it, and to be relatively safe through not going too fast, not feeling it because you've got some exotic sports bike you need to race the next guy on his exotic sports bike. Someone wants to race you on this, well, they're going to win, so you don't even have to worry. In fact, you just laugh at them for being silly to even think that to race you on the Royal Enfield would have any merit at all. The bike goes around corners quite well too. Unfortunately, I've nearly finished the lovely roads. Oh, this is a nice bit. This sort of road that you can enjoy hustling the Royal Enfield along. You feel like a hero, but you're only going 45. I guess it's quite light compared to my other bikes, so it does feel quite nimble. So, like I say, if you live East Anglia, Midlands, Balderton Motorcycles, who loaned me this today, easy to get to these lovely roads. they'd be more than happy to let you out and have a couple of hours or more riding these beautiful roads. See for yourself. So just contact David, Matt or Lisa there, and I'm sure they would look after you. I mean, what a day to be riding. You'll probably be wondering if I'm coming back. But anyway, so that's been a really most enjoyable ride on the Royal Enfield Classic. Get yourselves over to Balderstones if you're near here and enjoy. Yeah, I'll give the bike back. Another Royal Enfield there, look at that one. I think that a rival for the GS maybe. Just to give you an idea, here's the lineup of the bikes currently brand new and ready to go at Balderstones. Well, not ready to go, but can be ready to go if you like them. I like the Classic with blue and white, looks good. But interestingly, as you can see, they also have an adventure version, or adventure, or sort of a GS equivalent to the, I wouldn't say equivalent to a GS, but yeah, an adventure bike, and quite reasonably priced. Heading back to the Fens after dropping the bike off at Balderstones. I'm on the B1090, which is a really quite enjoyable piece of road. Again, it'd be too fast for the Royal Enfield, but for the GS, absolutely cracking. If you really fancy one of the Royal Enfields after watching my video, the good news is the price. I mentioned under 5k. Well, that bike I was riding, the Royal Enfield Classic, comes in at just 4,699 on the road. So that is actually really good, considering that's the official price too. Oh, this road's great, look at it, fantastic. Perfect weather, superb bends, GS set on dynamic, brilliant. Thank you for watching Fen Tour. I hope you enjoyed today's overview of the Royal Enfield Classic. If so, please do subscribe and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.